Hello and welcome everybody. We are kicking off a new vlog series, a collaboration between UJET and Officium Labs. Me and Baker have been chatting and we've been thinking, man, this is some rich dialogue and we want to make sure that we're offering it up. So we have CX possibilities, sparking curiosity in CX and the great things that are coming as we're building the future of service and establishing the foundation for the future of CX. We're going to talk through some great stuff. And the first thing we're going to talk about, Baker, is this idea of how new and how fresh the work of CX is. It's not your daddy's call center anymore. This is a very different time to be a CX professional. Get us started on this topic.
Yeah, hey, Nate, thanks for having us. We're excited to participate here. And I really think we've got some interesting topics to cover. When you and I first connected, what really struck me about Officium is that you're a very purpose-driven organization. And there were two things that really jumped out at me, right? First, you talked about decentralizing wealth and bringing customer service jobs to tier 2 through tier 6 cities. And then, like, maybe more importantly, that's not just a marketing soundbite, right? Like, you guys have actually launched a foundation to help equip the next generation of CX professionals. I think you've even got a scholarship program to help point students in that direction, right? But, you know, when I look at the customer service industry today, and I look at customer service leaders that we speak to, nobody ever actually planned on a career in CX, right? Like, the most common story I hear is about someone who started out as an agent because it was the only job they could get. Maybe they needed a late shift because they're working through school. And then the next thing you know, it's 20 years later, and here they are, right? Still running the whole ship. And so it's kind of been this thankless job where everything's about the bottom line. You don't have enough resources, and all you deal with all day long are escalations and frustrated customers.
Yeah.
But suddenly, in the last couple of years, CX has become center stage, right? And so there's all this investment flowing in, there's innovation occurring, and there are really incredible career opportunities in the space. But we have this vacuum where no one's thinking about it as a career path, and there's really not a lot of information or curriculum available. So I guess my big question for you is, you know, how do we get there from here, and where would somebody even start if they were interested?
Yeah, I mean, well stated. You know, there's just such a huge opportunity for us educationally, academically, to fill in some of this gap. I mean, it's amazing how strategic this work has become. I mean, it used to be just really repetitive work. The contact center was viewed as, in many cases, being like second-class citizens, and it was not a strategic area. Now it is. You know, CX is the competitive differentiator, and our ability to do this well is what is going to set us apart. So that is why this is front and center. And it used to be we were so dependent on trying to bring in CX talent just within 30 miles of our headquarters or wherever our service center happened to be. But now, as we all know, especially in this past year and a half, those chains have been broken. and now what we want to attract is those individuals who can be great brand ambassadors. They're huge fans of the organization, and they can represent that brand authentically in a way that's going to create a great service experience and beyond. So, I mean, our ability now to attract those type of people and connect them with great brands has made this a really great and exciting work, unlike ever before. But yeah, we got to shift that mindset for folks as they're coming through and making decisions on where they want to engage and what type of work they want to do. CX and customer service work should be one of those options that looks as appealing as it is in reality for them. And we are trying to do a lot inside of Officium to educate, to equip the next generation of CX professionals by offering scholarships, by doing training, by offering community. And I feel like that's just an important gap for many of us to try to fill.
So, I mean, how do the scholarships work? Because, you know, I think about, like, okay, it's my sophomore year. You know, they're forcing me to declare a major, and I'm like, okay, I'll go with marketing, right? Like,
yeah.
How does someone say, I want to major in customer experience, I want to major in contact center operations?
Yeah, I mean, what we're looking for is just somebody with that servant leadership mindset and that heart to serve. I mean, really, is a lot of times it's somebody in high school that maybe is already in a customer service type of role and that is excelling in it. They're like, you know, this is a career for me. I have the ability to serve my community and serve this brand in a great way. It could be through patient experience, you know, as a nurse. It could be a player experience type of thing, as a customer service professional inside of a game studio, or like a UX designer or something of that nature. There's all these different paths that allow you to create really great and compelling experiences that aren't necessarily somebody that is sitting there answering phone calls all day. That has shifted. Now it's really wide, it's really broad, the type of opportunities that we have to engage customers and create great experiences for them.
So you talk about decentralizing wealth, right? And opening up these customer service jobs in other cities. We've seen a lot of decentralization and the shift to remote work that came over the last year or so. How does that connect to your mission there?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, let's give people great opportunities to have awesome jobs. I mean, it used to be that if you're in Tupelo, Mississippi or something of that nature, it's going to be really hard for you to be able to do it, just a great customer service job for a brand that you love, because that brand isn't there. But now, we can connect those dots in great ways with the wonderful tool sets that we have now that give us the ability to connect a remote agent frictionlessly into the architecture, into the tool set infrastructure of an organization, and connect them directly to their customers. Allow them to work where they're happiest, as we love to say at Officium, but also represent that brand in such an excellent way, no matter where those customers live, and do it at a time of the day when it's convenient for them. We can offer great burst capacity, which is going to be better for the client as well as for the flexible work individual. There's just a lot of opportunities that are unlocked when we think less traditionally about our ability to do customer service work in this way.
Yeah, it actually opens up possibilities for a much greater degree of personalization and localization as well. I know one major phone brand or telecommunications brand has pods of agents, and they keep them all in region. They only route interactions to local agents, so that even though they are an international brand, anytime someone calls in for support or sales, they're really getting that local touch.
Yeah. Oh, I think things like that are just awesome. I mean, there's a huge, I think you might be referencing the Reinventing Customer Service article by Matt Dixon that was in Harvard Business Review. I'm a huge fan of that white paper and of that concept. I mean, what they've done is created small tribes, little family units of customer service teams that are able to now focus on a particular customer demographic. It strengthens so many things in the house in terms of that employee experience, their ability to go deep and relate with one another and be collaborative in accomplishing a great goal of servicing this group of customers really well. You don't get lost inside of this behemoth 3,000 person contact center because you have your tribe that's taking care of you and that you get to be established inside of. Then you have your customers where you get to develop some pride in serving them and be recognized for the achievements that you're generating and be able to see the impact that you're having on this smaller subset of customers. When we can personalize things in that way, our work becomes a lot more meaningful.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we talk about sort of the cost center effect, and you mentioned being, the contact center or CX being second-rate citizens. This is such a change relative to the historical kind of momentum and path. It's excited just to be excited about this.
Yeah, it's long overdue, and it's awesome, and it's enabled greatly by the new technology capabilities, including UJET, that are out there. We couldn't have done this 10, 15 years ago because not only was our mentality not there, but the tools weren't capable. But now we've got some things that make it a lot easier.
Yeah, we certainly do. We just need to catch up on adopting those tools and really putting these practices in place.
Indeed, indeed. Well, part one in the books for our vlog series here. Be sure to follow us. We'll be releasing part two next week around emotional intelligence and the role that plays in CX. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks a lot, Nate.